Hey YouTube, it's Allison again, and back with another one of these kind of talky videos where I'm going through my sketchbook. This is my 21st sketchbook, and I actually did design the cover and backing and everything of this one back in the summer before I went off to school, so that way I could just come back and just like grab a sketchbook and run, so that way, because I know I'd have a lot of work to do and wouldn't be able to laminate and do my sketchbooks like I know. It's holding up pretty well considering how much I put the sketchbook through. But anyways, let's get into it. I started this one back in February. I think it only took like a month or two to finish it. This one was, this little thing right here is like a thing I was reading up on to help me with my sub-D modeling in Mudbox. And then this looks bad, but it's not. It's just layered gestures. And let's see. I think that was actually my teacher, and was like, please stay still. I have this like great composition. I was like, none of the composition doesn't turn out well. Then people in my painting class. Whole bunch of drawings. I used a lot of finger pads and fingerprints and things because it would help me loosen up and get my gesture right. This makes me sad. I really like the way this gesture turned out, and like you can't see it probably on camera because you can hardly see it here in real life, but don't ever layer something light on something dark because you can't see it. But yeah, I used a lot of fingerprints because it helped me get a very general loose form. Also, I know I said this last time in my last video, but libraries are fantastic if you have a lot of gesture homework to do. And then screws. I like screws. They're kind of fun to draw, especially if you just like do a quick gesture of them. These are all sculptures. This is currently going to be a Hydrocob casting project. Then this was a CGI, what was it? It was a CGI animation that I did in Maya and Mudbox. And this was fun. This was a really big experiment for me in ceramics. I did a Cthulhu bowl because I was like, oh my goodness, H.P. Lovecraft, I love that. And I was like, what if I did this with a bowl? And I was like, oh, this would be so cool. And then more CGI stuff. This is a sculpture that I have yet to finish because I am lazy and barely ever make it down to the basement studios, but these are all little pictures I took on my phone because I did not have time because I was too busy trying to figure out how I would finish it off, because all of these supports and everything really were important in trying to make sure it didn't fall over, and thankfully it lasted through the kiln because it's terracotta clay, not plasticine like we normally work with in the sculpture studio. But trying to figure out how I was going to make the setting interesting in Ella was bad. These are different states of an etching that I did. I think it was in my last video, Sketchbook 20. I think that'll be the last. I don't know when I'm uploading this, honestly. Our wonderful model in made-up settings. And then I really like the way that this looks. I kind of want to put that on a badge or something, like a pin. I really need to spray fix these, honestly. I think I've spray fixed a couple of them, but not all of them. And then, just, this is a lot of drawing homework because my teacher was like, okay, y'all need to like really hunker down and get into this. And I was like, oh, but I don't want to. This is my new D&D character for another campaign. His name is Norn. He is a Fearbolg. And I have this whole backstory for him, but this isn't D&D, so I'm not gonna go into that. Then critique. For a dot installation project, it was like a whole thing. Not a big fan. These are all like storyboards that we ended up not using for a school project. When the teacher writes in your sketchbook and you have no idea how to read or interpret what they're doing. Because like the difference between this and this, I mean, they're for the exact same thing, and I'm just like, how on earth are you doing this, teacher? And then he's like, ha ha ha, I've been doing this. And then he was like, this is too much. You gotta be simple. And then I didn't understand it until I was actually building up the project. Etching, I think that this was, oh yeah, this was the critique. It didn't go well because I did not I'm not good at working in metals because I'm having an allergy to nickel or something, zinc or something. It was something that was a metal in the plate, so I was like, I don't want to work on this like ever. So, but my composition was so bad in this. It was so standard. It would have been much better if I did it something like this. If I just worked with the composition a bit better, it would have gone really well. And then ducks. They do this weird little thing where they, like, if they sense something's on their back, this little guy did a barrel roll, and it was wonderful. And I just sat in the park, and they thought that I was going to feed them. Oh no. This is a print that I did of a lino cut. This is one of the ones that got rejected from my thing because I was like, I don't like this. This is gross. Because chowder came in, but there was mineral spirits on my thing, and it was a whole thing. And then, shout out to lionofaction.com who helped me do my portrait homework because I don't know how to interact with people and be like, hey, can I draw you? I was really bad about that in first quarter. Or rather last quarter. This quarter I'm a lot better about it, and I'm a lot better about it. I can set up groups and be like, hey, do y'all want to like draw at this time at this area? And now we all just kind of get together because we all have homework to do. And then these were ceramic critiques on my last day. I think I actually cried in this class because I was like, please, I want to go, I love this. I actually have this plate right now with me. It is the Centaur Greek plate, and I absolutely adore it. I actually broke it when I was right about to set it up, but this is the plate itself. I absolutely love it. I actually put, I'm saying actually a lot, sorry about that. But what I did was I put a gold yellow slip on first, and then I think that I actually have the glazing notes on here. Of course not, why would I be convenient? And then after that I put black on here. And this is like all hand painted. This is not sgraffito. I wish. I'm not good at sgraffito. So instead I hand painted it on here onto the plate. This was made on a bisque form. And so yeah, I really love this piece. It's one of my favorite ones from the year. And it's based off of like a Greek centaur or something. This is actually a stencil from another project I had in ceramics, but I was like, I want to keep this, it's cool. And now it's just like little bits everywhere, all over my desk. This was from an artist talk, for like, hey, do you want to work in CGI, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, absolutely. Then visited High Museum, and it was amazing. More of this project. We're still working on this project, and I still don't know how it's going to turn out. This was for photography. I really enjoy photography. Photograms are my favorite thing so far, but we did make our own pinhole cameras. And this is one of my best friends, and she's the best. She gave me a whole bunch of photos for me to draw, and I was like, please help me. I am desperate in need of trying to do things. That's my other friend. I messed up because I actually fixed the drawing after I added pen. If you ever use cheap pens, don't fix it afterwards because it'll bleed and it'll turn blue and it won't be that nice like neutral black color. I'm an ear. I really hate drawing ears. I'm not, okay, so this is a lie. I'm not good at drawing ears in like when I put them in a scene, which is why I love that my friend sent me a picture with headphones on. Like, baby mouths are really fun, honestly. And then I kind of hit this rut where I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And then I was like, but gestures. Gestures make me feel better. What are gestures? And then I started architecture, and I absolutely love it so much. Because I cut out all these things, and our first class, we like defined like parts of a building, and it was like, you have to have a vertical, you have to have a horizontal plane for the roofing, or you always have to have a horizontal ground plane though. And then it has to like serve a function. Oh yeah, here are all the notes actually. And then I found these really cool pictures and stuff, so I collaged them in there. Very light collage, but... And then metals. Metals. I'm really not good at metals. Like, metals is hard, and it's beautiful. And I wish I were better at it. I have to put in a lot of work to get where I am. This is from a senior drawing class that I joined, in on because I was just sitting out in the courtyard with my friends, and we were like, oh my goodness, it's the elusive senior drawing class. And so we ran up and we were like, can we join? And he was like, of course. So we just sat there and got drawing plates. And this was like, these were all, like, you hand your sketchbook to another person. It was like, no, my child. So yeah, it's kind of like, you have to get used to, like, it not being precious. Your art is not precious. That's really fun. That was, when I visited the beach. I think it was on Easter? I don't know. This was fun. I really like this one. This was for my painting project, and I like the swirls of paint that I just put in here because I was like, I don't have enough room. I think this is for a project that I'm actually working on now, so I don't want to divulge any things. Actually, you can see this, the little character designs, just not the storyboards, because yeah, I don't know. I really like this one. Like, these two, combining these might be fun, but this is definitely the cat. Because why? Photography again. It took me forever to actually understand what she was talking about when she was like, you can't puncture the aluminum when you're making your pinhole camera. And I was like, but why? You have to, like, sand down the thing and make a hole anyways. And I was like, But yeah, I ended up messing up my thing anyways. Oh, this is fun. This is a really great handout. I highly recommend, like, screenshotting this or something. Because my drawing teacher, dang it, the notes on the back, but my drawing teacher gave us this handout, and so I cut it out and put it in my sketchbook, and it's just really great. But really recommend this book. I checked it out at the library, and it's fantastic. It helped me really understand kind of the critical points of drawing. Then Peter Planer Heads, because planer heads, like, I didn't really notice that this was an indentation, like, on the face, because you more focus on the eyes and how they compare than you do on, like, you see, like, it's so, I normally wouldn't notice that, but you really do have to go back to the basics, no matter where I have no idea what's going on here. Just being honest, I know this is supposed to be a planer head, but I don't know what's going on. And then I was going back to what one of my other art teachers said back in the senior drawing things, where it was like, draw in shape, not in line, and I ended up including line anywhere because I'm a rebel. No, I'm not. Oh, I love this hand. I really want to put that on a button. I really love drawing hands and kind of feet because you can get the hands are highly specific, and you can kind of get the gesture of them, and people will know about what you're talking about, especially how I draw them. I'm not, as you can see here, I have a long way to go before I'm really good at drawing them, but I have a good foundation to work from. I still have a long way to go before I get really good, though. These were warm-up gestures. We all just, like, took turns. Again, I love glasses. They give me a great reference point, and you can automatically tell what your perspective is. We actually got a new model. He has this prop, and it's like a stick, and it's so much fun to draw him because it's essentially a level and a plumb line, whichever way he holds it, right on the model, and it's easy because, like, I'm like, it comes up to him about here normally on him, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, thank you so much. I now understand how to proportion out your legs. Then he, like, see, his stick makes it much easier to draw. Oh, I love architecture so much. Like, this, like, I didn't get it initially. This is the roof plan, actually. This is the, never mind, I'm not going to get into that. That's content for another video. But we did this whole exercise where we did cross-section and floor plans and ceiling plans and blah, blah, blah of buildings that we really found interesting on the internet. Turns out we were actually just supposed to really look at them and figure out what we wanted to do. But me being me, I was like, oh my goodness, I must draw everything. So then this was our train station project. We're actually still working on it currently. I think it's like April 21st right now. Anyways, 21st for the 21st. This entire project is about you have to make a train or transit station that includes a place to sit, shelter from the elements. It can be open air. Bike rack. It has to have a ticket kind of machine, map/arrival time displays, and wheelchair accessibility. That's like a thing to consider rather than a requirement, but I really want to focus that. on that with my thing. This is like my little mushroom one. I was like, ah, it's a mushroom. And then everyone was like, it's like a circle. And I was like, it's a mushroom. This is actually the design that I ended up going with. I just loved it so much. This one's based on a farmer's market in my hometown. I really love how open it is. Well, it's based very loosely because our farmer's market doesn't actually have these walls. It's much more open than that. But I was like, I want to have it more closed off a bit so that way people can't just like hop everything. And then this one was like, it was based on a rat maze because I was doing a little not kindergartner, but like the kids menu rat maze, whatever. And I was like, what if you use this to solve natural lighting? Because with this design, I had a lot of issues about how am I going to light this without making it, because I really want to make sure I got into like, well, does it do everything I want? I wanted to make it sustainable and like, environmentally friendly as possible, and it's made for like urban cities and things, like center of town, outside center of town, so that way it's kind of more unusual and it stands out, which is why it's this shape, why it has this little indent here, and why it's just shaped the way it is. Although I'm currently making the model on that one, but the whole thing was I didn't know how to light it, so I ended up going with solar tubes and LED solar powered lights to go through the roof. But with this one, I was like, wait, what if I used a rat maze? And I think I actually saw this on a building. It's just a design, not a building, but it was where the stairs, and I was like, that's genius. What if you just because I was looking at how sunset went through this office building, and I was looking at the stairs, and the stairs reflected the light and refracted it so many times that it naturally lit the staircase at night, which was not at night, but like at sunset and dusk and things. And that was just fantastic. I just loved it. And I was like, what if I made that, but I made that the roof? So the roof could be glass, but the thing with making a glass roof is you don't want to cook people in their transit station because they're already going to be sardine packed in their buses. So you don't want to pack them and heat them before you even send the sardines into the bus. And then this is a refined mushroom station. No, it's just the circle one. This is a high relief sculpture that I did. It was all about like positive and negative space, and I really wanted to push the clay as far as I could, and I really love the stain. We have this new model, and I absolutely love her. She does some, like, I don't know if she's been trained or not, but she does some of the best poses where it's just kind of like, even here, her hands are fantastic. Like, and she also grows out her armpit hair, which I think is really interesting, and it makes her a much more lively model and kind of more relatable. Let's talk about bikes, babe, because I was just like, oh my gosh, I don't want regular bike racks. I want cool bike racks. And then I was like, whoa, there have got to be some kind of... So I went searching on Google Maps, right? And I was like, I found this one that was like, it was talking about, and it was an article talking about how they designed this one little park thing, and I was like, this is really cool. And I was like, well, are there any Google Map pictures, because I want to see what the roof pattern looks like, because the architecture blog didn't show it. And so I found them on Google Maps, and that's it. And then I found this other one where I was like, this is really cool. This is like segmented, so I could make a vent, because I couldn't zoom in enough on that because it's like a small town or something. I don't know. And then I did I did watercolor portraits because I was like, this is really fun. I can cover a whole bunch of area and it's really fun. Mainly, I just really like watercolors, and I finally found my palette after looking for it for 2 months. This guy does some of the best poses, I swear. He's just really good at making dynamic poses. He actually cut off his ponytail, and I'm kind of it's like I don't know how to feel. Like, I'm glad that you're experimenting and stuff, but like the ponytail. I missed the ponytail. And then this is me obsessing over the roof because I was like, I want this to be a solar panel in the beginning. At least in the beginning, because it's actually a 4x4 square. And on average, you only get about 15 watts per square foot. So if you did this, so like light bulbs and things take about 60 watts per light bulb to operate. And I would have to have this one could only operate one light bulb, which I thought was kind of ridiculous. So I was like, I'm not gonna do that. Let's just have these little solo tube things, which is basically, I think I do have a sketch or something of it. I do. They're in here somewhere. This is really fun. This is my really rough, I'm actually making the model right now. I probably already said that because I'm forgetful. But this is like, I had to make my own grid paper, and then I scaled it down, but the scale I'm working at from my model is 1/2 equals 1 inch. And then this is metals and stuff, more metals, because I'm terrified of playing with torches. And so I was like, I've got to do stuff. This is the project. This is actually a really cool artist. I don't know how to say the first name or the last name, but it's Gijsvakker. Really interesting anatomical work. Anatomical? I don't know. Words are hard. English is hard. And then more planar heads, but I was working on, like, I felt like I didn't quite grasp it. And I was mainly like, these ears, man. How do you do the ears? So I worked on the ears a lot. It says watercolor planar study. I did this back in, actually not that long ago. It was April 5th. And then BoJack Horseman, I see you, because I was like, oh my gosh, this is so, I'm dying. So what did I do? I did a portrait of a horse and just wrote all over it. And then this was another one. I'm really proud of this profile, because profiles for me are very hard, because if you get something like, if this were a couple millimeters lower, it would have looked wrong. If this were a couple millimeters higher, that's one thing that I don't like about drawing portraits. I used to love drawing them. I think I have Harry Potter one, like, earlier on my channel. I don't know. Anyways, with portraits, there are specific parts of our brains that only deal with recognizing faces. Because, like, if you enter a dark alleyway, it can be like, oh, grandma's letting you in the back porch, or, like, in the back entrance to, go to the apartment, or you could, like, be in a bad situation, so you need to be able to recognize faces. But the thing with that is, when you're drawing faces, you automatically notice if something is off. Even if it's a couple millimeters off, you automatically know. And so I did this on the 5th as well. I think this was actually like the 6th, but I was like, I'm just gonna cover it up, whatever. And then, I remember this, I woke up at like 2 in the morning, and I was like, what is this? And I just had this weird, like, dream, and I was like half awake, and I was like, there was some loud noise outside my door or something, like outside the window, and I was just like half awake, and I was just sitting there, and all of a sudden I was like, lemon sauce eater shimmy, and I was like, what is going on? And so I just sat there for a minute and contemplated this for a long time, and I was just like, yeah, the lemon sauce eater shimmy, and I was like, the heckler and the lemon sauce eater, and lemons, man, I don't know what it is with me and lemons. These are actually little stickers that I've made, not stickers, they're badges. Baby, oh my gosh. Like, we have a nice little button maker because our department is awesome. Huge thanks to department chair. Probably will never see this, that'd be really weird. Huge thanks to them though, because they got us a button maker, and I've been using that thing like crazy. I made a couple little fan buttons just for my bag. You should go check out this artist. I think it's like an AC, I don't know. It's called Mini Dinosaur or Baby Dinosaur or something like that, and it's some of the cutest little comics. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking now. I finished this what am I thinking? I finished the sketchbook on April 9th, 2019, and this is the back. And this is actually Lander art sticker that I cut off the Lander part because I was like, I'm a visual artist, this is fun, haha. Anyways, thank you for watching my YouTube video thing. Hopefully this is much more interesting than just documentation of my sketchbooks. I need to redo my nail polish. Anyways, like, subscribe, do all that jazz. Comment down below if you like this kind of video. Hopefully I'll make more when I eventually finish up my sketchbooks, because it takes me a long time. I actually did it. This one was February and this one February, March, April. So like 2 months? 3 months? Whatever. Anyways, hope you have a great day, and